Welcome to the Port Adelaide Library. My name is Meredith, and I work. Sharon is one of my local history volunteers and does an amazing job for me, editing things for me and correcting and indexing at the moment, which isn't a pleasant exercise, but a very necessary exercise. The City of Port Adelaide Enfield would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional owners of the land on which we stand, the Kemmett people of the Adelaide Plains. It is upon their ancestral lands that the Port Adelaide Enfield Council meets. I'll introduce Sharon. So Sharon Kemmett scribbled her first story at the age of 7. She graduated from Flinders University with a BA in English and Archaeology, combining her passions for history, science and the written word. She writes for speculative fiction, preferring science fiction, fantasy and steampunk. She dabbles in historical fiction also, any excuse for a bit of research. Her book, Hemlock Soames and the Waterhorse, was published in 2019. Her short story, Dragonheart, was published in the Hordes of Great Fire Worms, is that right? Good. Speculate Publications. She's co-written scripts for community television, edited work for the South Australian Museum, Invertebrates Department, and several speculative fiction novels and short stories. She had published non-fiction in Magellan magazine and won the ARPA Silver Award for the Best New Writer. Sharon's involvement in historical reenactment provided practical research into medieval life. She has lectured on medieval and Romano-Celtic British lifestyles and historical makeup at Adelaide WEA. Recently, she's been dragged into the digital age and is working on a tale of fantasy and adventure, engaging her love of all things mythical. She previously volunteered as a tour guide at the South Australian Museum. She's currently volunteering at her neighbourhood library as a local history research editor, and she does a really good job. Sharon lives in sunny Adelaide and with her feline domestic symbiont. I now invite.
Can't see at the top. Hello. I expect most of you know now that I'm Sharon Kemmett. Thank you all very much for coming. I'm here today to introduce you to my my imaginary friend, Hemlock Soames. Before I do that though, I'd like to thank some people who have helped me to get here, because they've all worked their something's off. Done a lot of really good help for me, I'm grateful. Firstly, the staff of the Port Adelaide Library for hosting this event. Rachel and her team for organising and advertising it. And Meredith for her encouragement and stepping in to do the introductions at short notice. My behind the scenes team, the members of Spec Fit Chick for advice and encouragement. That's Karen, Katie, Michelle, and absent friends Gemma, Ingrid and Lynn. And Claire for emceeing today's event. And Gem for letting me talk her ears off and expertly reading from the book today. And thank you to David and Karen for English, computer work, editing, advice, food, transport and chocolate. Very important. Yep. And I'd like to thank my family for constant love, support and inspiration. And I hope I haven't forgotten anybody. Yell at me if I have. And I thank you all for coming and supporting a local indie author. And I'll hand you over to our MC now. Thanks, Claire.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm Claire Scriven. I'm a Member of Parliament, and I must say this is a much more interesting speech that I'm able to make today than I often have to make when I'm in Parliament. I'd like to congratulate Sharon very much. I think probably most of us have a novel in our heads somewhere. It is very unusual that any of us actually get it out onto print. And Sharon has been someone who's written probably from her earliest age. I think we heard 7 years old was probably her first known first story. And so obviously the many years of practicing both for creativity, for enjoyment, and now for a published novel is a huge achievement. So congratulations to Sharon. I noted that it was mentioned that she's been dragged into the digital age. What was omitted was that she's been dragged kicking and screaming into the digital age. And I think anyone who knows her would know that that's the case. And so it's even more of an achievement to be able to actually overcome a resistance, shall we say, a gentle resistance to technology in order to achieve the things that she has. Those of us who have known Sharon for a long time know that she's very creative and that she has huge numbers of wide-ranging interests which feed into her writing as well as into her conversations on a social level, which we've all been privileged to, or many of us have been privileged to be involved in. So I think it's I'm looking forward to reading The Waterhorse. It's a book that is, I think, a long time in the making from what we've heard, and I'm sure it'll be very worthwhile. So a little bit about Hemlock Soames and The Waterhorse. Hermia Barrington isn't content with keeping house or hosting endless tea parties. She wants adventure. It's 1894, the height of industrialism, an era of unprecedented scientific discovery. Hemi is determined to join her husband's expedition in search of the legendary creature, the Waterhorse. Nothing will stop her, not a secret society bent on stealing the Waterhorse for profit, not even her own beloved husband. It's time for Hemlock Soames, Hemi's childhood alter ego, to return. But is society ready for Hemlock Soames? We'll now hear a little bit more about Hemlock Soames from Gemma Swain.
It's my honour today to read to you from Hemlock Soames and the Waterhorse. Hold on to your horse, this is fun. As Hemi pulled her book from a drawer, the train slowed and halted. Where were they? She looked out the window. Only the first 3 letters of the station sign were visible. She pulled open the window by its leather strap, leaned forward and peered out. Now she could read the sign, Carlisle. Not long and they would be in Scotland. The platform buzzed with activity. Weary-looking staff disembarked, and others in fresh-pressed uniforms with shiny buttons replaced them. Several passengers departed the platform in their horse carriages, and a couple new travellers joined the train. A man with spectacular moustache and wearing a spotless white smock pushed an enclosed trolley towards the dining car. A similarly clad youth carrying an enormous basket of fresh vegetables followed him. The kitchens of the dining car must be being restocked. Delicious smells drifted in Hemi's direction. Freshly baked bread. Her mouth watered. The rattle of the trolley stopped. The moustached man was talking to the widow, or more likely she was talking to him. What could she have to complain about in the food or the service? Both had been impeccable. Hemi sighed. Not her concern. She made her way back to Eli. The train was chucked off. When their train pulled into Carstairs over the border, Hemi watched through the observation window as railway men uncoupled the hindmost carriages, and another locomotive was shunted into place. Her half of the train would continue north shortly. The other half would divert to Edinburgh 10 minutes after that. Hemi smiled. No more Reverend Cannon. Eli was engrossed in the latest newspaper headlines. Hemi's novel lay face down on her lap. Bustling, smoky Glasgow and the River Clyde were far behind them. Now the landscape racing past was wild and empty. Not a village, not even a hamlet. A stag lifted his head, gave alarm, and he and his harem of does fled from the train. Trees struggled up steep slopes. The train climbed after them. Her eyelids grew heavy. She closed them and listened to the sound of the train's wheels. As quick as you can, said the wheels, as they dashed over the tracks. Excuse me, Mr. Barrington? And his eyes snapped open. Yeah, I'm Barrington, Eli confirmed. What's the problem? If you wouldn't mind coming with me, please. A serious-looking moustached porter indicated the rear door of the carriage. There's been a disturbance in the luggage carriage, sir. Some trunks appear to have been meddled with. Thefts have been reported. If you could check your locks and let us know if anything's missing. Certainly. Eli pulled the trunk keys from his pocket and turned to Hemi. Excuse me, sweet, I won't be long. He followed the porter towards the back of the train. Hemi picked up her book and read to the end of the chapter. She smiled. The Sign of Four, the newest Sherlock Holmes book, was just as exciting even on a third reading. She looked out the window. Steep hills lapped against the mountains that crowded in around them. They would reach the new viaduct soon. Eli would be disappointed if he missed it. She checked her pocket watch. He'd been gone a long time. He should have been returned by now. The hirsute porter returned through the rear lounge compartment door and cleared his throat. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. If I might have your attention for a moment, please. All heads turned. If there is a doctor in the compartment, would you please report to the senior conductor in the guard's room? He scanned the length of the carriage. No one stood. No hand was raised. The porter's face fell. Thank you for your attention. He made his way forward through the lounge car. Hemi picked up her book again, eager to rejoin Holmes in his adventure. She turned the page and hesitated. Shouldn't Eli have returned by now? A shadow fell over her book. I'm sorry, madam, the porter began. Hemi's stomach churned. Eli? She placed her book on the table and swallowed. What's happened to Elias? Your husband has suffered a slight mishap, ma'am. One of the trunks shifted. He's asking for you. Take me to him. She followed the porter from the lounge carriage, past the sleeping compartments to the back of the train. After you, ma'am. The porter opened the door of the luggage carriage and stood aside. Hemi entered. Chill air enveloped her. She shivered. She scanned the area. The only light came from the glass half panel in the door. Trunks, boxes and crates filled the space. There was no Eli. Elias? She frowned. Where is... Suddenly the door behind her spat shut. Hemi spun on her heel to face the door. The porter was gone. She rattled the handle, locked. She pounded on it. What is going on? She yelled. Where's my husband? She turned and peered into the unlit carriage. A row of small clerestory windows ran the length of the ceiling. She stepped forward. Are you here? There was no reply. Hemi searched behind the nearest crate, the toe of a familiar boot protruding from the shadows. Eli? The boot wiggled. Hemi squeezed behind the crate as Eli sat up slowly, cradled his head in his hands and moaned. Hemi dropped to her knees behind him. She held her breath and examined his head. There was no wound. She let out a slow breath. Her fingers searched his body for other injuries. There was something, a dart embedded in his thigh, so she removed it. Look, she displayed it to Eli. It was metallic, with a clump of red and yellow fibres at one end and as long as her finger. He nodded. Help me out, Hemi. Slowly, she whispered. She placed a hand behind his shoulder and eased him into a sitting position. Who did this? Was it the porter? I didn't. The blighter has blocked us in. But why? Eli mumbled and rubbed his forehead. He hauled himself to his feet, swaying with the motion of the train. He glanced at the closed door. Is the door locked? Yes. What about the loading door? There must be a rear door. Eli edged between the items of luggage to rattle the other door. Locked, Elias said. Of course, replied Hemi. She wriggled past the crates, joined him, and peered through the window. The track wound between steep wooded hills. Even if they could break out, how far was it to the next station? And what might await them there? Tiny hairs on her skin stood up as the carriage shivered. The beat of the wheels on the tracks changed, its tone dropping. Hemi and Eli glanced at each other. No! She peered out the rear door window. The ground under the sleepers and tracks dropped away into a steep-sided clearing. Water tumbled below them. Lines of shadow flicked overhead. She craned her neck. Vaulted silvery struts arched overhead. We're on the Prince Albert Viaduct. Hemi turned to Eli. It's a 170-foot drop to the valley below. Eli didn't reply. He'd abandoned the window and was examining the wall of the carriage. She joined him. The wall was bare, purely utilitarian. There were no lamps, no decoration, but there was a lever. Hemi tugged at it, but didn't budge. Let me, said Eli. She stepped aside. Eli yanked the lever. It shifted slightly. Something thunked inside the wall. With a scrape, the wall slid several inches to the right. Icy wind buffeted Hemi and clawed at her hair. She jumped away from the vertiginous drop and pulled her jacket tight around her neck. Eli slammed the sliding cargo door shut again. Our way out, I think. He turned to her and smiled. Her eyes widened. What do you mean, our way out? Was he proposing they jump off the bridge? Perhaps the dart had muddled his brain. You're not serious. She could barely hear the noise of the wheels on the track now. Eli, she was the train slowing. They pressed their noses against the rear window glass. The track was receding more slowly. The train's stopping, said Eli. On the viaduct? Hissed Hemi. Is the driver mad? Perhaps he's been taken ill? Eli shrugged. Hemi raised an eyebrow. Help me find something heavy. We need to get out of here. She rummaged in the boxes stacked against the wall. Now? She found a small, solid marble statue. Eli brandished a sledgehammer. They advanced towards the forward door, separating them from the train. The train squeaked to a complete halt as she struggled to keep her balance. Eli halted ahead of her and dropped the sledgehammer to his side. He turned towards her. His face was pale. She stepped forward and looked through the window. Her heart froze. There was no need to break through the door. There was nothing on the other side. There was no train.
Very much, Gemma, for that taster of Hemlock Soames and the Waterhorse. And I expect, like me, that's given you a good appetite to want to purchase the book and have it signed, which will be part of the event a little bit later on today. Before that, we'll have a question and answer session with the author, where we can find out a little bit more about the genre of steampunk, which is what this novel is, and a little bit more about Sharon herself. We'll then have the door prize draw before book signing and tea and coffee. Thank you very much. Any more questions can be directed to Sharon at the table in a moment. But we'll invite Sharon to come and make the door prize draw now. That's B018.
I have it.
I'd like to thank, again, reinforce the thanks for all of you for coming. Thank you to the library and to Meredith for supplying the venue and the support, and invite everyone to come to the book signing, and thank Sharon once again.